In this video, we look at the remainder and factor theorems. In particular, we consider the polynomial x cubed plus 3x squared minus 3x plus 5, and we divide it with the linear function x plus 1. So if you look at that, you'll see that x will go into x cubed x squared times. We subtract that, and down here we get 3x. Here 2x squared divided by x, you get it is plus 2x. So you have 2x squared plus 2x. Then if you subtract, you get minus 2x squared minus 2x squared is 0, minus 3x minus 2x, minus 5x, and then we drop our 5 plus 5, and then minus 5x divided by x is minus 5. So minus 5 times x minus 5x minus 5 times 1 minus 5. So if we subtract minus 5x minus 5x is 0, 5 minus 5 is 10. And therefore, we get the remainder here as positive 10. The remainder is positive 10. X squared plus 2x minus 5 is our quotient. It's our quotient. And then we can say that when we divide x cubed plus 3x minus 3x plus 5, we get the remainder as 10. We can write this as the same as x plus 1 times x squared plus 2x minus 5 plus the remainder 10, plus the remainder 10. So this can also be written as f of x is equals to x, let's say, minus a times the quotient q of x plus r, the remainder. Note that we are saying that if a polynomial f of x is divided by a linear function, is divided by a linear function x minus a, linear function x minus a, then we get what I have written up there. F of x is equals to x minus a times q of x plus r, where q of x is the quotient and r is the remainder. Note that if we were to replace x with a, if we were to replace x with a, note that if we take x is equals to a, where this is our a here, then f of x is equals to a by q of x plus r will be f of a equals to a minus a q of a plus r, and this will give us f of a is equals to r. Note that a minus a is 0, and therefore we are left with r on the right hand side. So f of a is equals to r, where r is the remainder. This is what we call the remainder theory. The remainder theory. In short, what we are saying is that if a polynomial f of x is divided by a linear function x minus a, and then we have no x term that exists in the remainder, then the remainder r is the same as f of a. Then the remainder r is the same as f of a. And this is what we call the remainder theorem. If a polynomial f of x is divided by a linear function which we are calling x minus a, until there is no x term. There is no x term. That is, there is no term with x in the remainder. Then the remainder r is equals to f of a. Then the remainder term is equals to f of a. So that is the remainder theorem. Now suppose when we divide a polynomial with a linear function x minus a, we get f of a is equals to 0. In other words, the remainder is 0. If such a scenario happens, then we say x minus a must be a factor of f of x. It must be a factor, and that's why we are getting 0 as the remainder, or and this is actually what we call the factor theorem. If the remainder is 0, then x minus a must be a factor of f of x. Conversely, if x minus a is a factor, if x minus a is a factor of f of x, then f of a is equals to 0. Then f of a is equals to 0. So in our next video, we shall look at some examples on remainder theory and factor theory.